what is even going on, folks? Uh-oh. Yeah. There he is. It doesn't look like the stream is capturing the game audio. If you're in the chat, let me know if you can hear the game. If not... Here we go. Here we go. Alright, that should do it. Here we go. Alright, that should do it. Alright, that should do it. Okay. Got some feedback, but I think we are ready to go. Let me lower the game audio just a taste because I think it's overriding my voice. And we are good to go. Alright, so... welcome to the stream if you're just tuning in. As you may or may not have heard, we are running a Kickstarter for Barony. We're porting the game to the Switch, the Nintendo Switch. And with that update, there's a few things that we think is going to be important for all versions, well, for the port to be a good port. We're going to need way better gamepad support. We're going to need way better UI that's friendlier for gamepads. And we're going to need split-screen multiplayer because who doesn't want to play Barony in co-op and split screen? So, all of those features getting added to the game. Everything that can be added back into the PC versions of the game will be. So that means the PC versions will be getting split screen and better gamepad support and new UI. I'm here to answer your questions and just have a good time. I'll just be playing Barony as a hunter. And I haven't earned the Gudiparan Bazi achievement, which requires you to kill enemies using only ranged attacks for the course of the entire game and win. And I also have not earned the Postmodern Hardcore achievement, which is to beat the entire game on hardcore. So I'm trying to kill two birds with one stone by beating the game on hardcore all the way through as a hunter to earn the Gudiparan Bazi achievement. Does reaching the hamlet count as winning? That counts as winning in the classic mode. So if you turn on the classic mode option, you can earn the hardcore, classical hardcore achievement, which I have recently earned. But I do not believe it counts for the Gudiparan Bazi achievement because it requires you escape the Citadel, which can only be done at the end of the game. Because the Citadel is where the Archmage Liches live. What's up, NPC Southern Belle? I don't know if I know you, but it's good to have you on stream. Let's do this. Let's start a new game. I think I'm going to try an Incubus Hunter. You're a new face. Well, welcome, new face. I appreciate you coming here. The Incubus is going to be a fun choice for the Hunter because he starts with the Hunter's Mark spell, or sorry, the Arcane Mark spell, which will remove the target's native strengths and resistances versus different damage types. So enemies like this skeleton will be susceptible to ranged, or will have a normal amount of resistance to ranged attacks, and they would normally be resistant to ranged attacks. And as a hunter seeking the Gudiparan Bazi achievement, that's going to make a big difference early in the run. So let's turn on hardcore. It's already on. Okay. All right. We're good to go. We're good. We got Incubus. We got Hunter. We got the random name Socks. How about Kuritiyu up at... Nope, we're not going to do that. Sleeves. That's a decent name for a hunter. Funny Lou. We're just going to go with Funny Lou for our name. Because why the heck wouldn't we? classic Lou. So funny. We're going to put our blindfolded telepathy in our last slot. We're going to prepare the arcane mark. I'm going to equip silver arrows because that's going to be most effective versus our skeletal foes, which is going to be our biggest challenge. Oh, that rat got away from me. Little hunting arrow. It's good versus a rat because it is a beastie, and hunting arrows are, of course, quite good versus beasties. I'm gonna pick up this slingshot just for good measure because you just don't know what you're gonna run into. Marked and silver arrowed. We can see maybe 3 or 4. Oh my gosh, I did not expect it to catch up to me so quickly. One more hit from the boomerang ought to kill him. Get over here. Hacha! Alright. Gotta love that boomerang. I'm excited to bless the heck out of the boomerang so that it is just an epic damage dealer. The thing about the boomerang is that as a thrown weapon, it has a really good rating for piercing armor, but it will also gain improved effects from blessings. So if you just focus all of your buffs on that boomerang, it can become like the most overpowered weapon in the game. It's really great, but it starts off really bad. Like, it doesn't do really any extra damage. The real thing that it provides is that it is a ranged attack that you can always count on, and just there's you know, all of your weapons can break. You can lose your throwing weapons. The boomerang is unique in that you can always count on it. It's like having a fist weapon, but for being ranged. Yeah, that's the reason why we put it on the hunter class. Uh-oh. Alright, we got a dirtbag skeleton. Okay, he's been tagged. Oh, he must have fought a rat earlier. And dead. Take that. Stupid idiot skeleton got killed by a boomerang. What a moron. Am I right, everybody? I'm going to drop this ring of teleportation. I just don't think I'm going to need it. So as an incubus, I am definitely going to benefit more from cursed equipment, and I'm going to want to avoid blessed equipment. Now, this might contradict what I said a little earlier about blessing my boomerang, but since the boomerang is a thrown weapon, it's actually pretty easy to deal with it being cursed or blessed because you can always just throw it, and that's a convenient way to unequip it. Even though you can't equip... Oh my goodness! Even though you can't unequip it by normal means. Let's hope nobody sneaks up behind me. And so it would actually be to my extreme advantage to buff the heck out of my boomerang. I could try to curse it, but cursing items is pretty limited compared to blessing them, as items prefer to not be multi-cursed, whereas items have no resistance to being multi-blessed. So that's what I'm going to be going for. Is this the one I picked up earlier? Yes, it is. Alright. Now, I don't know where that second skeleton went. I'm going to go ahead and potion this fountain. Oh my gosh, I got 2. We got potion of speed, sickness, and fruit juice. I'm going to take the risk of drinking this water. I summoned a succubus. Ooh, that's convenient. Okay, great. This succubus hopefully will help me out by recruiting some allies for me, as the succubus does know the charm spell. And whoever she charms becomes my ally, which is very convenient. Alright, let's see where we're at. I do have a skeleton wandering around that is ready to die. I'm excited to kill it if I can find it, but he's wandered away in his skeletal cowardice. have a blank scroll. I may hang on to that just in case I find a magic quill. The enchanted feather or magic quill, whatever you want to call it. I think it's called enchanted feather in the game. Ooh, I can't read a book of light yet. I'm not smart enough to learn how to cast light. I think I hear that skeleton meander in a boot. But anyway, that is a -2. Uh-oh. Okay. Alright, we got him. You and me, spectators, we got him. Okay, iron bracers versus brass knuckles. Since I'm never gonna punch anybody, I'm not gonna use that. Alright, our succubus recruited a skeleton. That'll be very handy, especially because we're playing on hardcore. That skeleton is gonna be a lot stronger than many of the other kinds of allies that we could summon. Let's say if we were like a conjurer class or something. Alright. Oh, but anyway, as I was saying, the magic feather, the enchanted feather, if I learn what the secret word for, let's say, enchant weapon is, I could actually put a very strong curse on a weapon. Uh-oh. Uh-oh. That was a close call. Luckily didn't get squashed by that boulder. So that's one of those things, like, people think that these boulder traps are unavoidable, but if you just keep your wits about you, you can make sure not to get smizashed. Uh-oh, uh-oh. Oh my goodness, a full health skeleton. I am lucky to have you, Lady Succubus, on my side. Alright, let's get out of this level. I think I've explored everything. Book of Light. Okay, I was able to learn light. I don't need gigantism. But yeah, since this this scroll is cursed, if I were to inscribe it, it would inherit that curse. Oh my goodness, a Ring of Warning that's cursed with -2. That is going to be extremely helpful for me. I'm a little hungry. I'll eat a blessed cream pie. The demonoids don't mind blessed food. They'll eat it. Okay, let's go. Let's go. We're ready to go. I'm going to take these torches just so I have a place to hide should I need to. Okay. What am I hearing? Oh my goodness. Man, this succubus is on the warpath. She's ready to convert everything. Quite the evangelist. You get it, girl. Alright. I'm not here to judge. Oh my goodness. What a... I have quite the army here. This is going to be very beneficial. Let's kill this human, shall we? Conan the Barbarian! Okay, we have a special NPC. Let's hope that my skeleton team can take him down. I'm reminded of Jason and the Argonauts. Even though that's not... Oh my gosh, I can't even hurt Conan. Oh, and the succubus converted him. And the spider. This succubus is gonna win the game. I'm gonna go AFK, guys. The succubus is gonna go ahead and win this game for me. I'll see you when I have the Gudiparan Bazi achievement. When the succubus decides to finish the game for me. Appreciate your time. It's been a good stream, but I'm just here for the chivos. That's what we call achievements in the industry. We call them chivos. Everyone calls them that. No exceptions. If you hear somebody calling them achievements, then they're not a game developer, because a game developer would call them chivos. That's just a science fact. I lied to you guys. It's not a science fact. That's just making stuff up. Drink some water. Uh-oh. Uh-oh. We got a rat. A rat killed a human. And then Conan the Barbarian killed the rat. Good Conan. Good boy. Such a good boy. I have my very own pet Conan. We got him at the pet store. How much is that Conan in the window? Orf, orf. Run away! Okay. Alright, my succubus just accidentally charmed me. I'll get over it. Okay, I have a lockpick, but I have no... Oh, I got 2. Of course I have that. I was gonna be all excited about the scroll of Conjure Arrow I have, but hunters always start with that, so I'm just being stupid. They call me Dum Dum Johnny. Nobody calls me that. You can start if you want. Hello! A long time ago, I was wondering if there are plans to add more music by composer Chris Kukla. I can't say how inspired I am by his music to create content for the game. Orlando Folk, thank you so much for your comment about our music. Chris is a great guy and a very good composer. We're excited to have his continued support on the team. As a member of Turning Wheel, he contributes music for all of our projects and sound effects as well. And often he'll even contribute in the way of helping cut together trailers and things like that because he's skilled at that. So as for more music for Barony, we do currently have some more music planned, but it's not just for general use. It's more, we have specific content that demands, oh, this is where all these spiders came from. We have specific content that demands more music. So, I'll just spoil it on stream right now. One of the things that we're adding to the game, let's eat this moldy pie. One of the things we're adding to the game are going to be some trial maps that both teach you some game mechanics, but while still challenging you. So they're not easy in the way tutorials are, where it's just like, push this button, do this thing, but they're actual challenges. But the game teaches you how to solve those challenges and then tests you on how well you learned the lesson. So it's a Barony approach to a tutorial as opposed to a traditional tutorial. So we are going to get some new music for those trial maps. As for other areas, content in the game that will have more music, I have nothing to report at this time. However, we should talk a little bit about the Kickstarter because, what's a good Kickstarter without some stretch goals? And we would love to have some stretch goals for our Kickstarter, but we really need to reach our basic funding goal first before we can really talk about stretch goals meaningfully. Why is she just casting friendship on Conan? You're already friends. Get over it. Anyway, one of our stretch goals will very likely be some kind of new content areas in the game. And so with any new areas that we add to the game, we're going to have some music to go along with it. We just can't commit to that right now because we don't know what our Kickstarter funding is going to look like until the game launches. Until the Kickstarter campaign launches. So, anyway, that's just my way of saying there is a good possibility of us getting some more music. How much and when will be determined by our Kickstarter, at least to some degree. Dude, this Conan is kicking spider butt. Let's just let him. Yes, good job. Good job. Succubus, you're doing a great job just turning your friends into even better friends. This is hilarious. So anyway, I hope that answers your question. I'm sure Chris will be very happy to hear, Orlando, that you've been inspired by his music. I know that music is one of the strong points for people in the game, and I'm very happy about that. It's definitely very good, and I like it. I mean, I'm still playing with the music on. What kind of dirtbag idiot wouldn't play with the music on? I'm just kidding. If you play with different music on, I'm and I ain't mad at you. There's also some really good music mods out there that I'd encourage people to check out. The Steam Workshop has been really cool. Lots of people putting together fun new content that I never would have thought of adding to the game. Destroy armor, I don't need that. Okay, we're not getting to the secret today. That's alright. I don't know if I wanted to anyway. Who wants to go and fight gnomes in hardcore mode anyway? Spellbook of Unlocking is too difficult for me. Yeah, we got a rat that's stuck, but in an area we can't get to, so we're just gonna ignore him. Ooh, Cloak of Magic Reflection. We'll put that on. Oh, there's my torch I've been looking for. I can aged bread. Let's eat that. Let's go. All right, squad. Man, I'm so lucky to have such a strong squad with this succubus. Succubus is too dumb to properly recruit that rat. She's firing at Conan again. Conan's like, look, we're already friends. Stop trying to convince me. I don't need your argument. Have you ever had an argument with somebody that, you know, you already agree with them, but they keep arguing anyway, and you're like, dude, I understand. I get it. We're on the same page. And they're like, yeah, but, and they keep arguing. That's who I feel like the succubus is right now. It's like, look, I understand you're very passionate about your cause, and I respect that. But like, this is getting very old. Oh! I got mortalized. Rip. I'm not quite sure what happened there. If that was a new spider that just like had it in for me, or if my succubus died and then so she lost the spider's allegiance. I don't recall. Either way, YOLO. Let's try it again. Hopefully we get so lucky as to have a evangelist succubus like we did this time. That joins our effort. Okay, again, preparing my equipment, my spell of arcane mark, so I can be competent against these skeletons.
All the best.
All the best. Took care of a couple rats. I know it doesn't seem like much, but we're in hardcore mode, guys, and they're tough. Everyone's tough. Oh, I needed to cast way faster than that. Oh, goodness gracious. And I got snuckered up upon by a skeleton. Alright, guys, this is just how it's gonna be. This is a hardcore run with the hunter, and the hunter already has a very low health pool. So, I mean, maybe I shouldn't even be the hunter. Let's try again. Let's try again. So, Orlando, if you're still around, I'm curious if you own the soundtrack. Because we do sell the soundtrack as DLC, so you can listen to it in any game, whenever you feel like. You don't have to launch Barony. You don't have to convert any of the audio files from the game's resources or anything like that. You can just download music. You know, we make some sales of the soundtrack, and I think that's really cool. Like, people like it enough to buy it, and I think that I love that. But it doesn't quite sell as well as our DLC. Let's say. I suppose that's to be expected. I don't know where the enemies are. I'm going to put on my blindfold. Okay, my blindfold of telepathy reveals that I do have a skeleton threat sort of straight away ahead of me here. Oh, but I have to go through this maze to find bad guys. Okay, there's a rat. Ooh, okay, that rat was injured. He probably got into a fight with a skeleton earlier. I noticed a thread on our forums people complaining about the infighting between monsters, because if they kill each other, they effectively steal experience from you. Like, you can't get experience from monsters that other enemies have killed, which is true. I totally understand the complaint. But I know for me, like, I was blown away when I played the original Doom and Doom 2 and end up finding, oh dude, that's an emerald. That means there's probably an Algernon that got killed by skeletons. I'm gonna be running into a lot of rats, I think. But yeah, I love infighting between monsters, where it just shows that, you know, just because I'm the player doesn't mean I'm the only one that gets under attack. And, you know, the amount of enemies that you'll encounter and what enemies they are, it's going to be random anyway, so... Uh-oh. Boom. And so it's not like you're ever guaranteed any certain amount of enemy kills that the game is stealing from you. So this is one of those things where it's like, if you really feel strongly about it, then I think it's a totally valid concern to have, and is perfect for mods. It's not something I feel like, you know, we should take away the notion of infighting from all players, because I know how fun it is for me to see enemies fighting as a player. And also, you know, sometimes the game is just really hard, and so if the enemies are taking each other out, then you can use that to your advantage. You can, like, lure spiders towards trolls to weaken the troll and to kill off the spiders if it's too much for you. So I think it's an important feature for the game to have, and I wouldn't change the default. But if somebody wanted to make it a mod so that they could play it just their exact way that they like it, I think that's exactly what mods are for, and we've encouraged that kind of modding since day one. Peep, peep, peep. Die, stupid! Uh-oh. We're gonna finish this guy off with our boomerang, or maybe the poison will kill him. Yeah, okay. Don't have to waste any ammo. Don't have to risk losing durability on my bow. Just finish him off with the boomerang. I like the boomerang, yow. Somebody spotted me, but I didn't see who it was. Okay, it's the skeleton. I didn't want them both to come. Goodness gracious. Alright, alright, alright. Okay, I think because I had that guy marked, I ended up teleporting behind him, which put me a little closer than I wanted because there's another skeleton there. Another. Die! Die, stupid! Alright. Of course I missed. Feeling stupid. Alright, we got some skeletons, made some kills, got some XPs. Get that XP. So I don't know if it's a good or a bad idea for me to be trying to stream on a holiday. I know that normally would be a bad idea because everybody is, you know, out hanging with their friends and family, and I'm not trying to pull you away from that. But at the same time, with that COVID, though, folks might be looking for something to do, a little something to watch and enjoy while they can't go out, or while they choose not to go out. And I'm here. I'm here for you. I am here for you, specifically. Alright, let's take a risk. I'm gonna open this door. And I'm just gonna shoot hunting arrows in and attract dirtbag spiders. I've used up all my hunt. Oh no! Oh no! Darn it! I was just gonna say I've used up all my hunting ammo. RIP. R.I.P. Restart game. Yeah, man. I don't know. The idea of trying to do Gudiparan Bazi and Postmodern Hardcore, maybe just a flawed concept. I may not be saving myself any time because I know that I can get Gudiparan Bazi on normal difficulty. And I'm pretty sure playing a monk or a sexton would be easier to finish the game than the hunter. But just like many qualities of my life, here I am making it harder for myself by trying to do both Postmodern Hardcore and Gudiparan Bazi at the same time. So, fun fact, in case you didn't know, if you're not one of the few people who have looked it up, the Gudiparan Bazi is the practice of it's like a sport of flying attack kites, and it's popular in Afghanistan. So the achievement Gudiparan Bazi is named after this sport of kite fighting. So the joke is, naturally, that you have to do a lot of kiting in order to finish the game without killing an enemy in melee. And so that's your LOL dad joke for the day. Gudiparan Bazi, folks. Now you know something a little bit more about Afghanistani culture. Yeah, I got a potion of, basically a potion of speed from that fountain. So I'm going crazy fast. I'm invisible. Picking up trash. Okay, we got a dirt bag here. We're gonna cast a spell on him. We're gonna... I don't know where that boulder is, but I was pretty sure it wasn't behind me. And you know what they say. Pretty sure is good enough. That's what everyone says all the time. Rip. Okay, my speed potion wore off. But my courage will never die. Just like my daddy. My daddy will never die. I think players need to give as many tools as possible to expand the game. At some point, the community will start making good content itself. Yeah, we agree. That's one of the reasons why we open sourced the game. And it's informed in no small part by John Carmack's position on open sourcing, where in the short term it may seem like a negative because you're, sharing your technology that you worked hard to build and research. You're sharing that for free with everyone, and so you're kind of losing your unique advantage of having this product that you can make all to yourself by giving it away in open source. But what you gain is effectively eternal life in your fans who can now study and modify and enjoy your work on many different platforms that you don't have to spend the effort to build. They do that for you for love of the product. And, I mean, just an obvious and excellent example of this is the original Doom. Having been open sourced, it's been ported to, mimetically just effectively every possible platform, to the point of being a joke of how many stinky platforms it's been ported to. And John Carmack didn't have to do any of the work of porting it to those platforms because the fans did it. And so that's something that we believe is important. And we would never claim that Barony is a groundbreaking technology on the level of Doom or anything like that. But it is unique as a first-person co-op dungeon crawler, and having accessible files for modability and all that, we just think has high value. I'm not going to put on blessed equipment. Can't learn the light spell because I'm too dumb. And I think we're already seeing some really impressive mods take shape. I'm really excited about it, actually. Oh, I already have a amulet of poison resistance. If you haven't seen Barony 20 XDX, that's a great aesthetic total conversion that makes the game really feel like a cyberpunk game, which is so cool. Hi, Sneak. I'm Light Reaver from the Discord. I've been playing Barony from time to time, mainly because I can't last until I turn off the hunger setting. But I really enjoy the game. Recently, I bought a Nintendo Switch, and I can't wait to play this game on it. Thank you so much, Baron of Hell 89, for commenting on that. I know I myself am excited to play the game on the Switch because Barony is a game that I play for fun, and I've been on this team for almost 5 years, and like, that's no joke. If you've ever heard from any game tester or game developer, most of them hate playing their games even just by the time the game is released. So you know, let alone 5 years of working on it after it was released. Most devs are just sick of it because most games are just like, you know, they're scripted, the level designs are static, you play through them once and you know everything that's going on. But Barony is a game that I can play and play and play, and the experience is going to be different every time. The game has over 200 achievements, and I haven't earned them all. And like, so it's a great excuse for me to keep playing the game, to hunt down the achievements, and the dungeons are different, the character builds are different, the treasure I find, and so the kinds of things I'm capable of as a character are different every time. It just stays fun, let alone the co-op play. So anyway, on the Switch, being able to play with split screen with my kids, or portably, like if I'm heading to bed and I just want to run a dungeon or two before I go to sleep, like that's just something that the Switch offers me that I can't get right now. That'll let me have a little more Barony in my life, so I'm very excited about that. So thanks for showing up to share your excitement. We're very excited. I know not everyone is like a fan of Switch console games, but ultimately I think that we've made Barony a really strong product that, you know, the niche that's gonna love a first-person roguelike, I think we've provided a product that they're gonna love, and we're gonna, you know, we're proud to keep making the game better. But ultimately, like, if you love a first-person roguelike, you know, Barony is what it is. Like, the game's not gonna reach a totally new audience on the PC and the home computer with the Mac and Linux and PC Windows builds. The way we're gonna reach a new audience and make Barony even bigger is with a port to a new system, and we really think that the Switch is the best place for Barony to be besides the PC. Not that other platforms couldn't also be really cool and powerful for us with a new audience, but the Switch especially, just because of the ways that it's unique compared to other platforms. How many torches do I have? I have 11 torches. I can get rid of, like, most of those. Funny Bones! No! Don't chase me down, Funny Bones. He spooked me, dude. Alright, let's get out of here. Let's get out of here. I don't need no Funny Bones. It's not even that funny if you think about it. Darn it, I got caught up in that doorway. Ugh. Funny Bones gave me a taste of my own medicine. Alright. I'm not going to use this axe, but I am going to identify it. He drops a cloak of protection, I think, so... I'll definitely wear that. Right, I was able to learn light can't learn locking yet. So, Baron of Hell, I was just talking about Doom a little earlier when it came to the open source scene. And I can't help but notice you're named after a Doom character. Those first-person games from the 90s are hugely influential on the Barony team. And it doesn't surprise me that fans of, like, Doom have a fondness for Barony. Because it really is inspired in a lot of ways. Goodness gracious. Gotta fight this troll. Oh, he's got some life. Oh my goodness, my bow broke. That is just not acceptable. What am I gonna do as a hunter with no bow? In what world can I survive this? Oh my goodness. Not just any hunter, by the way. A hunter trying to do the Gudiparan Bazi achievement. Alright, I got a Book of Force Bolt, which is uniquely interesting given my circumstances. Holy moly, okay. I'm gonna burn out this book because of why wouldn't I? To help give me a little bit of an advantage. The Gudiparan Bazi are allowed to use spells because they are, of course, a ranged attack. I'm gonna spend this Staff of Blocking to improve my spellcasting ability. Alright, you're done. Gone, baby, gone. Alright, let's hope we don't get surprised by something in the portcullis. Just gonna eat some moldy cheese. Let's be honest, if you're not eating moldy cheese, are you even an American? That doesn't make any sense. Why would somebody say that? That's ridiculous. We got bottle book. We don't need bottle book, but we got bottle book. Oh, we got some armor. Armor is heavy. Everyone knows that. So, what are we gonna do with it? Who knows? Who knows? Throw away bottle book. Throw away my journal. Gonna wear the armor, perhaps against my better judgment. I might have to take it off later, so that I'm not too slow to survive. I don't need this amulet. I'm just gonna keep eating moldy cheese to stave off my hunger until it makes me barf. Because there's no reason not to. And I've really got to take it slow on this run. Unless I really risk getting moidalized. Okay, I got that highlighted so I can speed out of here if I need to. Okay, I burnt out that, but I do have some... No, I can't use those arrows. What am I thinking? I can still cast a spell. Okay, one more boomerang hit and he'll die. Alright, I can eat some more moldy cheese now. Alright, moldy cheese is doing me well. Man, without a bow, this is gonna be a real struggle. I'm on the struggle bus, y'all. Ooh, but I got some food. Man, I really need a bow. I didn't expect my bow to decay so quickly. I mean, my ammo is literally worthless until I find another bow. Going kind of slow. Alright, we got some fruit juice. We don't have any mana potions, as far as I can tell. Eat more moldy cheese, bro. I'm gonna go ahead and explore the rest of this level because I feel like I need to. Okay, I feel like I'm definitely not gonna fight these spiders. I feel like that would be supremely unwise. They are going to annihilate me. So instead, I'm gonna go ahead and kill them with the trap. Yeah, I really just can't see anything I can do to kill these guys. One of them died. That's interesting. Alright. On hardcore mode, so in normal mode they will die in a single spike trap. But on hardcore mode, of course, they have a lot more health and they can survive 2 spikings. And I've played before where they can just barely survive 3 spikings, and then I can pick them off when they have very little health after that point for a little bit of XP exploits. And I ain't mad about exploits on hardcore mode. The game is obviously crazy hard on that mode, and it's expected that the player's going to do crazy things in order to survive. So a little bit of splitting here and there is expected. Yeah, I like roguelike games, probably thanks to Doom, but also Blood. I love that game too. You know what? Blood is a really cool game. I might go as far as to say that it's underrated. And I had the distinct pleasure of working with the designer of Blood when I was working in VR. Very cool guy. Nick Newhart is his name. Very friendly. And you can run into a lot of people in this industry, especially ones that have done, you know, a lot of, you know, have had noteworthy projects, like Blood was noteworthy, who just have massive egos, but Nick is not one of them. Nick is a very friendly gentleman who, even myself as a young game designer, comparatively anyway, was just nothing but supportive and friendly, and I really appreciated him. Good guy, Nick Newhart. Goodness gracious. I'm gonna go ahead and close this door so the shopkeeper doesn't destroy us. Oh my gosh, the slime killed the troll. I didn't expect that. It means he sort of stole my XP. Thanks for nothing, slime. But I will kill the slime and get the XP from him. You know, him. We have gendered slimes where I come from. Alright, we got booze, we got apples. I got a lot of food, which is great. Gonna eat that, gonna eat that. I could shape change and go shopping. Man, I'm so hungry for weapons that I'm just like not willing to open up the gate to kill the skeleton because I've just got nothing to kill him with. I've got no mana. I need a bow. Is a bow anywhere to be found? I do have some gems that I've appraised, so if I go to Minetown, perhaps I have a chance of making enough money to buy a bow. That would be handy. On this hardcore run, I really could just take all the resources I can get. So I have beaten the game on hardcore in classical, on classic difficulty, so I've gotten the classical hardcore achievement. And I played as a sexton, and the sexton is probably my favorite class. It's also a class I designed. Man, I'm like scared to fight this rat, which is hilarious. Alright, got him. If he had more health, it would be like terrifying. But the Sexton is a class that's really well built for hardcore because he starts with the sleep spell and some pretty powerful throwing weapons with the chakrams and chakrams, depending on how you want to pronounce it. And so you can throw the chakrams, put guys to sleep, and then throw them again and put them to sleep again. And so you can really do some good fighting. But I still don't have that Gudiparan Bazi achievement, and I just think the Hunter is going to be the best one to do that, especially if I can buff this boomerang. I was wondering, don't know if this has been changed, but in the room that triggers spikes to kill spiders, do you still need to just activate a specific lever to trigger the mechanism? Yeah. I could change that so that you don't know which lever is going to activate the mechanism versus which lever is going to open the door. Maybe I should, because I do think that would be fun, so that you never quite know. There's always a risk to opening or pulling the wrong lever, so the game's a little less predictable. But yeah, that's all you have to do right now. Excellent Cursed Club. I'm going to drop this metal hat in favor of the Jester's helmet, just because it's going to give me a little less AC, but it's going to be lighter weight, and I'll get the charisma from it. Yeah, I get a lot of charisma from that. And that'll matter if I ever find a succubus that'll start recruiting for me. Yeah, 50-50 RNG, and that's exactly what it would be. It's 50-50. I summoned a succubus. Speak of the devil. I summoned a succubus. No pun intended. The locking spell is just too difficult for me. This ring of magic resistance is tempting, but it's cursed. So like, or sorry, it's blessed. So why would I even bother? I should throw this potion of confusion at somebody. I'd be cool with even a 33%. Well, yeah, dude. Yeah, there's a number of things I could do, and maybe should do. I'll keep that in mind. We will have an opportunity to update some maps pretty soon here, and that is on my list of maps to do a little bit of redesign on. But in general, I think people appreciate the design of that map, so I don't want to mess it up too much. Because it does represent some risk-reward. Like, you can just kill the spiders with the spikes, get no experience from it, but you do get the treasure. Or you can take the risk and try to get that treasure, but then you're exposing yourself to quite a bit of danger from those. Of course, I find a slingshot, but it's blessed, so I'm not going to use it. What kind of dirtbag is going to use a blessed slingshot? Not on my watch. Alright, well, I wasn't able to open the exit. I don't have any levitation capability. Ooh, this hood. Nah. I mean, it's a cool hood, but it's not good enough to replace the Jester's hat I found. I look as handsome as ever. I don't need 2 towels. Don't forget to bring a towel, not a bunch of towels. Well, you know, maybe I will spend a polymorph potion so that I can chance it on these shops. Fine staves. I don't have any fine staves, let alone any mediocre staves. Hat store. Well, okay, this isn't exactly the shop selection I was hoping for. There are some profitable hats if I just went back to go find them. Blah 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 blah. Now I'm wielding all of this cursed equipment as a human, so my stats are hot garbage. Hot garbage. A spellbook of identify. Yeah, things I'm not going to use for 200, Alex. Magic missile. Man, that's a high level spell. Spellbook of remove curse. Why would I ever? I am an incubus. I want those curses. Alright, off we go. So I am currently rather handicapped, being that I'm polymorphed into a human, so all my equipment sucks for me right now. It's objectively bad. Hopefully my succubus ally can make something of herself by recruiting for me. Welcome to the stream if you're just joining. Thanks for stopping by. Happy Independence Day if you're from the US. Decided to stream today because I am pumped about the Barony for Switch Kickstarter. I've got a lot of things we could talk about if you want to ask some questions. Otherwise, we're just going to enjoy this hardcore run playing a hunter. And to recap, I am playing the hunter on hardcore because I'm trying to do a 2-for-1 playthrough where if I can finish the game with the Gudiparan Bazi achievement, I confuse that spider. Yes. Yes, my faithful succubus. Uh-oh. I did not want to get hurt by that. Okay, well. Unfortunately, because I confused that spider, my succubus ended up having a fight with it, even though they were allies. That was my fault. I know you guys want to blame everyone else, but this is on me. I suddenly feel very nauseated. Well. That's a lot of scrolls. Oh. Funny Lou, what were you thinking? I was just trying to spin this staff of slow, but my succubus was too close by, and I ended up hitting her. And she got mad at me for trying to slow her. So I have, by my own hand, caused my own destruction, and here I am, dead, once again. Give it another go, shall we? Let's do it. Let's do another hardcore Incubus Hunter run. We can do it. You and the Captain can make it happen. If Captain Crunch taught me anything, it's to never give up. Trust your instincts. Do a barrel roll. That's a Star Fox 64 reference. I'm sure you guys have never heard the hot meme do a barrel roll before. I'm very original for having referenced it. so annoyed with myself for wasting like 2 silver arrows. I really depend on these special arrows in the hardcore runs as a hunter. Because without silver arrows, these skeletons aren't taking nearly as much damage. Okay, alright. Alright, alright. As I slowly trek through these dangerous dungeons. Peep, 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 peep. It sounds like an Algernon. Given how many peeps I'm hearing, it sounds like an Algernon. Okay, let's go ahead and turn off my torch and not get murdered. Killed a couple of rats, we killed the skeleton, maybe a couple skeletons. No meat yet, unfortunately. Ooh, but I did get a cursed helmet. I'm excited about that. A little extra armor goes a long way with my tiny, tiny health pool as a hunter. Blum, 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 blum. There's that skeleton who's been harassing the rats. You know, because I'm a hunter, the low light that the arcane mark provides around the target has been really helpful because I don't want to have a torch. It really gives me away and makes me vulnerable to surprise enemy attack. Oh my goodness! Okay, okay, okay. It's so funny being so scared of rats. I feel like such a coward. Alright, rip rat. Don't need another. I don't need that. I don't. Oh, a book of Force Bolt. Yes, thank goodness. I'm not going to equip it, but I can read it. Equipping it wouldn't make it so that I can't unequip it. But I was able to learn Force Bolt, which will be very helpful for my Gudiparan Bazi. Let's put the spell on our hotbar, shall we? Let's shall. Okay, I'm running away from a rat. Alright, slowed it down with the hunter's arrow, and it's good to go. Rip rats. Let's close the door behind me, just in case it slows down a rat that might otherwise sneak up on me. I'm gonna pick up... I learned my lesson. I'm gonna go ahead and pick this slingshot up just in case I end up with no ranged weapon like I did that previous game. Man, that was so crazy. You know, I gotta give myself a little bit of credit for surviving as long as I did with no bow as a stinking hardcore hunter. That is not the best case scenario for me. I hear the speeders. You know what? I will gain the 3 intelligence and lose 1 AC. That will help me learn spells and cast them better, and I got no regrets doing that. Give me a little extra mana regen while we're at it. Will I survive this encounter with spiders? One never knows, does one? I think I'm feeling confident enough to try to kill these spiders, just because this class is purely designed for its kiting ability. I've got only 11 hunting arrows, so what I'll do is I will sedate and then use quick arrows, and then sedate, quick arrows, and sedate, use quick arrows. And hopefully that will be enough. Hopefully. I mean, I feel stupid. It feels like a stupid idea. Here's what I'll... Oh, of course. Here's what I'll do. Okay, we got one dead spider. I don't know why one died. But with them partially dead, I should actually have a fairly easy time cleaning them out. I was not kidding. That is very, very handy. Wow. Alright. I don't know if I feel good about that. It feels a little cheap, but you know what? On hardcore, you do what you gotta do. Like with all roguelikes, YOLO. And I'm gonna make this life. I'm gonna live my best life, guys. That's what I'm trying to say. I've got this spell book. Rat. Rat. Oh, I snuck right by that rat. He didn't even see me. Where'd he go? Oh, he went this way. Or maybe it was this way? Yep, there he went. Goodness gracious. Fizzled 2 spells. We did it. We killed a rat after it almost destroyed us. Man, nothing quite like Barony to humble you. Alright, I don't think there's any more enemies wandering, so I'm gonna bring out my torch. What the heck? Let's drink a little booze. Let's hope I don't barf. I don't want to barf. I just wanted the extra health, you know? But sometimes you barf, especially when your constitution is low. And I've got a 0 constitution as a hunter. A hunter with buffed constitution has 0. Oh, you know what? I forgot to do something. I'm going to turn on... Sorry for the delay here. I'm going to turn on my Steam broadcasting so that everybody can watch me. I'm not going to have commentary on. Anyone can watch. But I am going to have just basic broadcasting going. So anyone who goes to the Barony store page should see my broadcast. And that's cool. That's better than not having it, right? We're about ready to... Let's go. Let's go! In the immutable words of a Fine Brothers reactor, let's go. I don't need another book of that. Wow, I've got a lot of those books. I'm gonna put a healing book down here because I think that's gonna be useful. Let's eat some gross cheese because... Just cause. Oh! Oh no. Spiders and rats and bears. Holy smokes. I really just can't afford to do this. Okay, let's do hunting arrows again. Okay, the rat bailed. Alright, we got the rat. We got the rat. We got the rat's meat. Okay, I feel like I heard a shopkeeper tearing apart a spider. Dude, I can kill this guy from here. It's gonna be so much fun. Get wrecked, skeleton. Alright. A little free XP. Sum Quoderis. Yep, I'm losing out on some XP. I hear bad guys fighting each other. It's alright. Ooh, I got some XPs for identifying stuff. That's handy. I don't like this. Alright. I'm excited to have a spellbook of healing. Hopefully I can survive long enough to learn that spell. Let's go! Store is closed, that's good. I don't want those shopkeepers killing me. Alright, let's alright, we killed the troll. Got some hot XP. LOL. Bracers of Constitution will do. 2 Cursed Blank Scrolls. Now, again, I am really a big fan of Cursed Scrolls, Cursed Blank Scrolls, because that means if I find an enchanted feather, I can make cursed magic scrolls of many kinds, like Cursed Scroll of Enchant Weapon, which will let me put curses on my weapons, which will be very, very, very good for me. Alright. Holy smokes, that's a lot of spiders. Very excited to have gotten some XP from the spiders. Okay, that's already been spent. Oh, I don't know who killed that spider, but somebody did. Observation of the sentry. Hears a spider death sound. Declares somebody killed a spider. Gosh, this troll is in good shape, and I don't like that about him. Alright. Let's see this. Out of mana. Alright, dead troll. We got this, folks. Oh, hardcore runs, hardcore runs. The game is much, much harder. What is this, level 2? Close that door, because we don't need any shopkeepers interrupting us, do we? Hungry. Blech, rotten cheese. Still hungry. Slightly aged meat. I think this cursed bread will make me puke even though I'm an incubus, so I'm just gonna bail on that. Oh, I'm moving a lot faster. Must have been a good level up. or something. Now I can use this Blessed Scroll if I find a an enchanted feather. I can use that for a Blessed Scroll of enchant weapon to just double down on my boomerang, which I think would be just fine. Do you think in-game mods support can be achievable on the Switch, even if on the long run after Kickstarter has ended? So, Switch mods, because it would probably be really complicated to get like PC users to try to find some way for them to have to validate their mods on the Switch. I think it's unlikely that, you know, like every PC mod would be available on Switch, and you know, part of that is the fact that, you know, Steam Workshop isn't Switch, obviously isn't a Nintendo accessible service, and so we'd have to come up with some other solution. That said, you know, we have thought about the idea of like official turning wheel mods. So, for example, I made a mod called Merry Barony Christmas, and so in theory, you know, we could have a list of official mods that users could activate, sort of like mutators in an Unreal game or something. And so it would almost like be having game options that are mods, if that makes any sense. So, I mean, there is a possibility of that. I think it would be a stretch goal if we did something like that, because it would require like a new interface. We would need to make it really clear what's happening when the player picks a mod like that. But I think there's some possibility of that. And for me personally, you know, I think it'd be great for players to have some on the Switch, to have some way of benefiting from the fact that the game is open source. And it's possible that we could work with modders one-on-one to, you know, add their mods to the officially approved, you know, turning wheel mods list. So mods like, you know, 20xdx, you know, that'd be really easy for us to be like, oh yeah, this mod works. It doesn't change the gameplay. We can just make this mod work and just make it available. But because we'd want to respect the mod maker's ownership of that work, we'd need to reach some sort of agreement with them that would give us rights to distribute their mod. And so, you know, there's some logistics involved in making that happen. But given the kinds of people in our community, I don't think those logistics would be too difficult for us to work out if we decided to go ahead and do that. Something like the Wicked Rendition mod might be a little more difficult because that really dramatically changes gameplay. And so, you know, having official mods that do or do not support achievements is just that there's just some decisions that we'd have to make and some exceptions we'd have to provide for that kind of thing to work well. Anyway, I guess the short answer is that it's something that we're cognizant of because we really care about our modding community, and I personally would like to find ways to facilitate that, but it is not currently part of our default plan, if that makes any sense. Even by implementing sort of a workshop straight in game. Yeah, so if we were gonna, like, let's say we shipped the level editor with Barony, and made it so you could mod Barony on the Switch, like, that'd be epic. But that would also be, like, you know, a substantial amount of work to make something like that happen. Like, there's no mouse on a Switch. There's no keyboard. And so, you know, by default. And so we'd either have to say, you know, this feature requires you to use a keyboard. And anyway, there's just... And I don't know how many of those kinds of, like, exceptions would get past Nintendo certification. It would just be really unknown territory if we're going to do that. And I'm not saying it's worth doing, but we just have to acknowledge that nothing, literally nothing you do in game development is free. Everything requires work. And so, whether or not that's what we want to spend our time doing versus, let's say, like adding more features in game content, fixing more bugs, that kind of thing, that's where the unknowns really come into play. Yeah, being discussed. Yeah, I think that's a great way to think about it, because we really, like, I think as a fan of the game, I think you're bringing up the right points. Like, wouldn't it be cool if this is something we could do? And we ultimately agree with you. Absolutely, yes, it would be very cool. So if it's something we can do, that's a different story. But, like, you know, who knows? I myself, I am somewhat proud to describe myself as an opportunist. And so if it looks like an opportunity for supporting something like that could go really well, there's no reason why, you know, if it was feasible, there's no reason why I would stand in the way of it. Because I'm all about finding the kinds of opportunities that make the game better for more people, and ultimately it's going to make the game sell better because more people love it, because there's more you can do with it. Yeah, we're always excited about expanding the game's audience and what it can do for people. Oh yeah, ate some moldy cheese and got away with it. Okay, let's try to unlock this. Holy smokes. Okay. Scroll of fire. Get out of here with that. I got a lot of blank scrolls, which is cool and all. Because I don't have a tinkering kit, I just don't think I'm going to take that. Okay, I got 2 potions of acid, 1 of sickness, a lot of booze. Oh, and some speed. Okay, so I can make an acid and sickness, and I can make an acid and speed. And then I'm going to get rid of the Olympic because... Oh, no, I can do, like, some duplication. Let's do a water and... Let's say... speed. Well, that just made water. I can try another water. Water and thunderstorm. That just made water. Let's do water and booze. And that just made water. And let's do water and booze. Oh, and that did make booze. Okay. So, you know, I'm not going to be an alchemist with this character. It's going to be too much commitment. I am perhaps going to take those tinkering supplies with me just in case we get a kit. It's going to be the first thing to go, though, I tell you what, if I start needing inventory space, because it's just not likely. Get rid of that. I can understand it may be hard to implement it for a lot of reasons, so in my book it's just a plus if it's in, and I'm fine without, so it's all good. Yeah, well, I appreciate your support, Baron, you know. It's weird being a fan of a game because you want it to be everything that it can be. At the same time, you already love it for what it is, and so, like, it's hard to know when to really express your preference and kind of pressure. To be like, look, this is what the audience wants, like, why don't you listen to us? Versus just being like, hey, we trust you as artists, like, do what you think is right, because we already love what you do. And as somebody who is a fan of playing games, there have definitely been times where I'm like, yo, you guys are not listening to your community, you have no idea what the reason why people like your game. It seems like you're fumbling around in the dark. And I think as a game dev, it's important sometimes to have an audience, like, give you a wake-up call. Like, yo, we don't like your game because of the story. Or we don't like your game because of the political message that you're sending, let's say. And so it can be important to just acknowledge sometimes you get a little big for your britches and how important, you know, some aspect of your game is when in reality, your audience may not care about that thing that you've decided is like super important. And when it comes down to it, the only thing that matters is the audience. I do believe that. Maybe some devs don't believe that, but I do believe that. If I was just going to make games for myself, then why would I bother publishing and selling them, you know? And I can't, with a straight face, say, hey, this is a great game, if a lot of people also do not love it, you know? Like, that would just be me blowing smoke up my, or, you know, just blowing smoke in general, to convince myself how great I am. I think the Discord works well for giving the community a voice that devs will listen to. It's a good thing you guys are active there. Hey, JJ. Hey, thanks for popping on the stream. I appreciate it, dude. Yeah, I think interacting with Discord has been really cool. And I agree with you that it's been useful to keep a pulse on the community. And it's funny because, like, you know, even on the Discord, I wouldn't say that there's like a unified voice, like single voice, but it at least gives us a way to keep our finger on the pulse of the community, so to speak. So, like, for example, the polls that we did. You know, we're hoping that the Kickstarter will be successful enough so that we have the opportunity to do some stretch goals, including another DLC. And so I put together that poll, you know, about DLC playable races. Oh my gosh, we got a funny bug. And so even though, you know, there's a lot of development reasons why we might not just do whatever the community votes for. Like, for example, making a playable shadow race is a substantially larger challenge than making, like, a playable gargoyle race, just as an example. Just a very significant difference in development effort. And so even if, let's say, even if Shadow got like a lot more votes, that doesn't necessarily mean we're gonna 100% do a Shadow race. And in the current poll, you can see that's the case. Like, a lot of people have voted that they want to play as a Shadow, and that's cool. But at least it tells us that if we were to do that, it'd be something that a lot of members of our community would like. And that's just important data for us to be aware of. At the same time, you know, we have something like the Gnome, which is a character that already exists in the game. It will require some special work to make playable. Many people have acknowledged, you know, the fact that normal armor models will not fit them. People are correct in that assumption. So we'd either have to not allow them to wear armor or build special art for them so that they could wear armor. But if we did that work, something like the like a gremlin, which is currently listed as a playable or as a poll option. In theory, a little gremlin race would be really easy to implement, but it's also something that nobody is voting that they want. But because it's convenient to do, since we're already doing the lion's share of the work to make it possible, it might be something we do anyway, even though the community has not expressed a high demand for it. The low amount of work makes it so it's more possible. So anyway, I guess this is just a long and drawn out way of saying that even though the Discord doesn't dictate what we do, it does have an impact on what we do. Like, I wouldn't go out of my way to just make a gremlin race, because obviously that's not something the community's really hungry for. But if we were already going to do a gnome race anyway, which people have demonstrated they are hungry for, then I might say we might as well do a gremlin race anyway, even though it's not something people have shown a lot of excitement for. And if a fan were to say, oh, I can't believe they did a gremlin instead of a shadow, that's where, you know, I'd say, hey, you know, I respect your opinion as a fan, but you have to understand there are development realities that make it so even though you guys want a shadow more than a gremlin, that doesn't necessarily mean that that's the more logical choice for us as developers to pick, if that makes sense. I voted dwarf and dryad, the harpy and the elf, but honestly I'm more looking forward to the dwarf. That's funny. Yeah, and I've seen some commentary too that are like, well, what's the difference between a dwarf and a gnome anyway? And it's like, well, I mean, for us, you know, if we were going to do both, we would definitely make them substantially different. You know, that's assuming we would do either in the first place. But feel free to vote for as many as you would like. You know, there's nothing saying you have to only vote for 4. Just keep that in mind. Blank scroll, blank, conjure arrow, blank scroll. Piece of mail. Get out of here, piece of mail. Nobody asked you. I'm sick of your garbage. Run, you pigeons, it's Robert Frost. You can't beat a dwarf cursing his way down against every mob. Yeah, dude. Yeah, it could be a lot of fun. Opening and slow, I'll just bring it slow. That's done. Firestorm, fruit juice. Sex change. I don't think that's going to be very useful for me as an incubus. Let's see what happens. You suddenly feel rather feminine, but you remain an incubus. I'm going to get rid of this booze. Booze isn't very useful for me as an incubus. Off we go. Cockatrice race win. What's up, Denim Face? How you doing? Yeah, it's funny. We do kind of look at all, you know, especially since the shaman, we do kind of look at all of our creatures as a possibility for playable races. But it's funny because Cockatrice specifically has not come up, so I find that kind of funny. I mean, it'd be epic. The Cockatrice is such a powerful character. Healing spells. Spells of healing. I have healing spells. Great, hope you are as well. Yes, I'm doing great. Get to level 100 and unlock it for Shaman. Instant win. You know, since we've already done the work for the Imp, and the Imp and Cockatrice actually share animation rigs and stuff, it probably wouldn't be super hard to add it as another Shaman form. But you said 100, like level 100 in what? Just like character level 100, or 100 in what? Yeah, one of the things I like about the shaman forms is that there isn't one form that's like, oh, this is the best form. It's that the forms serve different purposes. Like when it comes to exploration, the rat, because of its speed and food detection, is actually remains useful throughout the course of the game, assuming that you need food. If you're a race that doesn't need food, then I guess it's a little less useful. Let's drink this water. The spider is easily is a good mixed ranged and melee and caster, whereas the troll is obviously your choice for melee, but if you're not going to do melee, then you definitely wouldn't do the troll. Anyway, so on and so forth. Whereas the cockatrice is a melee powerhouse, is a caster, and maybe I guess isn't ranged, but still would kind of override the spider. So it doesn't really fit into a design scheme the way that the other ones do currently. Anyway, not to be argumentative. Booze. Why do I keep carrying booze around? I know I'm an incubus, but I don't need any booze, guys. Stop telling me I need booze. I'm sick of you ordering me around. Oh, character level. That is how you unlock the different creatures, right? That's right. Yes, that's correct. You do unlock all of them via character levels, so you are not wrong to assume that that's how you do it. You are very correct. Good point. Good point. Johnny Goodpoint agrees that you've made a good point, and I recommend that we all listen to Johnny Goodpoint. Oh yeah, free slime, baby. And I got scrolls of food, blank scrolls, Conjure arrow. Yeah, I gotta get rid of some stuff. I'm gonna get rid of the towel. It just seems unlikely to me that I'm gonna use a towel. Because I got scrolls of food. I really don't need a tin opener. I don't have any tins. Ooh, Book of Confused. We'll throw that away. Healing. Let's throw away the tin opener. We're not going to do a tin opener run today, guys. It's just not in the cards. Oh, I disturbed the dead. Okay. 8. F. Alright, good girl. Moldy cursed meat. Alright, we got one little leg here to explore. Okay, so far, and I don't want to jinx it, but we're on dungeon level 4. This is by far the best dungeon run we've had as the hunter so far today on hardcore difficulty. Shaman can be pretty powerful. My friend and I did some testing, and Shaman has both the highest potential health regen and highest potential mana regen. That is a really interesting point. Yeah, because of that skull mask. Yeah, you can get some really good mana regen. And with Troll's Blood, you can get some great health gen as well. The last time I beat the game as a Shaman, I was a Troll melee build. That was a lot of fun. I really like that character. Let's get rid of the acid. I'm just gonna drink the water. YOLO. And then I'll collect these scrizzles. Wow, that's a lot of scrolls. Magic mapping mail. We'll throw the mail away. Teleportation. Boom! Charging. You know what? We're gonna go ahead and charge our Staff of Opening. So now we have a great Staff of Opening. That's actually gonna be really handy, hopefully. Because I don't have the opening spell. Wow, getting rich on scrolls, homies. I don't think I need the scroll of Identify. I'm gonna throw it in the Trizash. A scroll of repair. Alright. Juyed Alk Yak. Can one of you guys remember that for me? Juyed Alk Yak? Because if we find an enchanted feather, we'll be able to make more scrolls of repair, which will be really important for our boomerang. So now that I've repaired the boomerang, it's worn, it has much... Oh, there's the excellent feather right there, guys. Oh my goodness, I'm so excited. You don't even know. Okay. Let's do a blessed scroll with Yak. Where is it? Where is it? Alk Yak. Where are you? Juyed Alk Yak. Okay. And now we can totally repair our boomerang. This is great news. And now our boomerang is serviceable. Let's do another one. And we're gonna repair our boomerang again. Alright, now we have a +6 boomerang. That's no joke. You thought I was joking, but I'm clearly not joking. Alright, now it would be great to be able to find a scroll of enchant. You know, I got a magic mapping, which is Day and Fools. Endova. Okay, Varied. Tamov. NR. Okay, so we know some of what our spells aren't. Let's do Xiao 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 Xiao. Scroll of Light, that's not that useful. Let's do Lepgex. What are you, Lepgex? Remove Curse. That may not be useful, but I'm gonna keep it around. Ooh, I was able to eat the moldy meat without penalty. Go me. Ooh, okay. Did I do a Pratyavaya yet? I don't think I did a Pratyavaya, did I? I don't think I did a Pratyavaya. Let's try a Pratyavaya. Pratyavaya. Enchant weapon! Okay. I'm not going to enchant my boomerang because I'm a little concerned that I will want to bless it later, and it's going to be a lot easier to bless. Actually, that's not true. I can just do a lot of Pratyavayas right now. Let's do a lot of Pratyavayas and curse the heck out of my boomerang. Pratyavaya. Pratyavaya. Alright, and our enchanted feather is dead. We're going to equip our boomerang. We're going to enchant it. -1. Enchant it. -2. -3. Okay. We have a very cursed boomerang, which is great news. Holy smokes, that's a 25 attack weapon now. That's very, very good. I'm sad that I don't have my my quill anymore, but having such a boomerang is going to be very handy for carrying me through this run, especially if I run into trouble of finding equipment. Come on, Succubus, come on. Oh no. Okay, I gotta get in water. Get in water. Alright. Holy smokes. Alright. We did it. We did it. Man, I gotta say, I'm feeling like really excited about this boomerang, but I am still, to some degree, hanging by a thread here with low health. Being in hardcore mode is tough. No stinking tomahawk. Alright, we got a new friend. What's up, homie? Alright. Don't need to work this glass. Don't need a +1 strength. You know what? Let's cast some healing. Let's practice those healing spells. Might as well heal up my ghoul while I'm at it. Because I'm just going to be using this. Alright, the Book of Healing is broken. I should have known that would happen. You know, I'm going to go a different way. There's no reason for me to lure my allies past that. Gotta let that goblo language. Alright, well, of course, I decided to get hurt by the trap twice. Genius. Genius play. Only a game dev could pull something like that off. Dead ski. Already have the confused memorized. Not gonna put on blessed plate. Potions. Some boots. Actually, I could just read this. Alright, I learned slow. Iron boots versus leather boots. Let's take the iron ones. Even though they're in worse shape, I doubt we'll end up breaking them. Don't need the fire scroll. What was the fire scroll name? Zelgomare? Okay. We'll not do Zelgomare if we have the opportunity to. Acid is cursed. Oh yeah, alright. More scrolls of fire. Goodness gracious, great scrolls of fire, guys. Probably just gonna spin this. You know, I did hang on to that remove curse, just in case I found something like a scroll of summon. That might be better if I used a non-cursed version of it. You never know. You never know. Ooh, a book of cure ailment. That's actually very, very handy. Let's put that on our 0 slot. And 9 slots fine. Ding, ding, ding. It's funny how adept this character is at casting, but how little magic I'm casting. Well, you add more enemies that can follow you into water like big piranhas. So, you know, it's funny. The original development plan for Barony had water monsters as, you know, part of the game design. But it's something that eventually got cut just because it was going to require some different AI and behavioral stuff that we hadn't planned. And because it's, you know, a part of the game that isn't really that big of a deal, we've kind of just ignored it. But I just wanted to let you know with sincerity that, you know, it is something that we thought about initially, and it's just not something that we worried about because it's just not that important to most gamers. Like the swimming skill, you know, we kind of acknowledge also that the swimming skill isn't exactly the most useful skill, except for if you're using exploits. But because it's useful for exploits, we've also, like, you know, not been too worried about how underpowered it is as a skill, if that makes any sense. Anyway, I'm just acknowledging to you right now that we understand that those skills are not the best skills in the game, and they're not that even that fun to use to some degree. And so, like, having aquatic allies or other kinds of content that would take care of water, that would consider water better, is actually something that I think could be advantageous to the game design from, like, a game designer perspective, like a high-level game design perspective. As to whether or not that's something we, you know, spend development effort on and worry about at all, is something I really can't speak to right now. It's definitely not on our priority list of something that like matters more than other kinds of development. For example, like if we said, hey, we're gonna overhaul water gameplay and have more aquatic creatures, versus we're gonna have more playable races and a new zone to explore, I think you could guess which one people would be more excited about. Like, it's kind of a meme for people to make fun of like water levels in games. Like, everyone kind of agrees that water content in games is like the least interesting part of the game. And so yeah, I would love the game design to be a little bit more well-rounded in terms of how we handle water. It's just, I just have doubts that it's something that we're going to spend a lot of time on soon. So anyway, that's a really long answer to a really, you know, thoughtful and short question. Oh my gosh. No! No! Rip! Oh, and just like that, the run is over. Crazy Elf. What engine are we using? This is a Helm-made engine that was originally built in C, the C programming language, and then was later ported to C++ so that we could support Steam networking. So this is a homemade engine exclusive to Barony. That also means that we had the liberty of making the Barony engine open source, so you can go on GitHub and get our open source code for the engine and make mods to your heart's content. Water content is the least interesting part of games. Subnautica, my joke to you, JJ. That's really funny. That's really funny. Yeah, that's definitely a game that's all about water content. That's for sure. Barony is not all about water content. I've had some ideas though, like, okay, well, what if when you went into water, you entered like a submap that was like the water part of the level that had its own treasure and its own enemies on it. That's kind of inspired by an old game called Shadowcaster, which was one of the early first-person action RPG titles that most people probably haven't heard of, but was inspirational to me in making Barony to some degree. They had like, you know, the water areas and the non-water areas. Duke Nukem 3D kind of worked the same way, but yeah. Anyway, I think this is a great place to call it a stream. I've got some holiday time to spend with my family in celebration, doing some snakes and sparklers and smoke bombs kind of stuff. So thank you all for tuning in. I really appreciate your time. I'm really bummed out that our really great Hunter hardcore run was going so well that it ended with just 2 hits from a Minotaur, but that's Barony, ain't it? I could have been more judicious in watching my map and making sure I wasn't going to get waylaid by the Minotaur, but I was just I was too focused on actually getting into the secret area. That's what I was focused on, which was not the right thing to focus on. Water is like one tile tower. I'm not expecting you to rework all the mechanics to add water mobs. It'd be fine having one type of mob that can move in these types of tiles. Yeah, no, I agree. I think that the big thing with, like, let's say if we just said, hey, let's let all enemies move through water. You know, maybe they slow down a little. The only, like, the biggest design impacts of that I've thought about is that you would need those enemies to be able to attack while they're in the water, or else it would just be too exploitable. Like, you could sit on the edge of the water and just kill them while they're in the water, and that would just be not fun. But then it's like, well, if the enemies can attack in the water, then why can't I? So then the player would have to attack in the water. But that would completely remove the risk of going into the water as a player. Like, why would you avoid the water if you could do everything in the water that you can do out of the water? So anyway, it's a little bit of a design balance, balancing act, tightrope walk. You think people don't like water areas, usually due to the controls not being great. Metroid Prime had good water. That's because once you are able to actually play in the water, your mechanics don't change. Gravity suit, yeah, that's a good point. That's a good point. I think Shovel Knight is another good example of a game where the water levels were fun, and it just made it so you could jump higher and you fell slower, and then your movement speed was a little slower. So overall, it was just a different balance, and it was well thought out. And just Barony just doesn't have that well thought out water mechanic in it yet. And it's certainly not part of the core game, so it's like, should we do a ton of work to make it part of the core game? Maybe not. Get crushed by a boulder. That's funny stuff. Alright, well, that's it for today. Thanks so much again for tuning in. Really appreciate you guys. And if you have any questions, please drop by the Discord. Please follow the Barony Kickstarter page. I'm excited to see those numbers go up on how many people are following the Barony Kickstarter. That'll be alerted when it goes live. Please, if you have friends that play Barony or would be interested in playing a Switch version, please encourage them to follow the Kickstarter page with me and watch me. Thanks again for your time, and have a fantastic 4th of July. Happy Saturday. Say cheerio to your governor for me. Good night.